100 Civics Questions, 1 Easy Answers. US Naturalization Test, 2008 Civics Test, Part 1, 110. A quiet public library, filled with shelves of books and soft lighting. Mark and Anne are seated at a large wooden table near the civics section. A notebook, flashcards, and a study guide are spread out in front of them.
Mark, are you feeling ready for today's session?
I think so, Anne. I studied a little last night, but some of the details still confuse me.
That's totally normal. Let's work through the first 10 questions together. I'll give you 3 options, and after your answer, I'll explain clearly why the correct one is right.
Perfect. Let's begin.
Question 1. Name your U.S. representative. A. Kamala Harris. B. Joe Biden. C. Depends on where you live.
I think the answer is C. Depends on where you live.
Correct. This question is based on your address. Each congressional district elects one representative to the House. Because there are 435 districts, the correct name depends on where you live. Before your interview, make sure to look up your representative on the official House of Representatives website or through your voter registration card. Question 2. What did the Declaration of Independence do? A. Formed the first government. B. Announced our independence from Great Britain. C. Gave women the right to vote.
I think the answer is B. Announced our independence from Great Britain.
That's right. On July 4th, 1776, the Declaration of Independence was adopted by the Continental Congress. It declared the 13 colonies free from British rule. It was a bold political move that began the process of forming a new independent nation, the United States of America. Question 3. There are 4 amendments to the Constitution about who can vote. Describe one of them. A. Only white men can vote. B. Citizens over 21 can vote. C. Any citizen can vote.
I think the answer is C. Any citizen can vote.
Exactly. This reflects the 19th Amendment, which gave women the right to vote, and later civil rights legislation confirmed that citizens of all races and genders have the right to vote. It's important to understand that the Constitution has been changed over time to make voting more inclusive. Question 4. Who makes federal laws? A. The Supreme Court. B. The President. C. Congress.
I think the answer is C. Congress.
Correct. Congress is made up of 2 chambers, the Senate and the House of Representatives. Together, they write, propose, and pass federal laws. These laws apply to all 50 states and are an essential part of how the U.S. government works. Question 5. What major event happened on September 11, 2001 in the United States? A. America entered World War II. B. The U.S. Constitution was signed. C. Terrorists attacked the United States.
I think the answer is C. Terrorists attacked the United States.
That's correct. On September 11, 2001, terrorists hijacked 4 airplanes. 2 were flown into the Twin Towers in New York City, 1 hit the Pentagon, and 1 crashed in Pennsylvania. Nearly 3,000 people died. It was a tragic day and led to major changes in U.S. security policies and the start of the War on Terror. Question 6. Who lived in America before the Europeans arrived? A. Pilgrims. B. Native Americans. C. French settlers.
I think the answer is B. Native Americans.
Right. Native Americans, also called American Indians, lived throughout the land that is now the United States long before Europeans arrived. They had their own languages, cultures, and systems of government. Understanding their role is important to understanding the country's full history. Question 7. What is one right or freedom from the First Amendment? A. Bear arms. B. Speech. C. Trial by jury.
I think the answer is B. Speech.
Yes. The First Amendment guarantees the right to free speech, which allows people to express opinions publicly without government censorship or punishment. This right is a core value of American democracy, though it does have limits when it comes to threats, lies that cause harm, or national security. Question 8. When is the last day you can send in federal income tax forms? A. December 31st. B. April 15th. C. July 4th.
I think the answer is B. April 15th.
Correct. April 15th is known as Tax Day. Unless it falls on a weekend or holiday, this is the deadline to file federal income taxes with the IRS. Filing late without an extension can lead to penalties and interest. Question 9. What does the Constitution do? A. Declares war. B. Sets up the government. C. Grants state licenses.
I think the answer is B. Sets up the government.
That's exactly right. The Constitution outlines how the federal government is structured, dividing power between 3 branches: legislative, executive, and judicial. It also lists the powers each branch has and guarantees certain rights to the people. Question 10. What does the President's Cabinet do? A. Judges Supreme Court cases. B. Advises the President. C. Makes laws.
I think the answer is B. Advises the President.
Yes, the cabinet is made up of the heads of the executive departments like state, defense, and education, who help the president make decisions on national policy, military actions, and more. Though they don't make laws, their guidance is key to shaping federal decisions.
Anne, how do I know if I'm really ready for the interview? Some of these answers felt easier than others.
That's a good question. Self-assessment is key. Here's what I suggest. Go back and reflect. Which questions did you answer quickly and confidently? Which ones made you hesitate? Review those more. Try to explain each answer in your own words without reading. If you can teach it, you know it. Also, do mock interviews. Practice answering in full sentences. Time yourself.
That sounds like a solid plan. I'll try doing a practice session at home and record myself too.
Great idea, and don't forget, look up the current names for local and federal officials before your interview. Those can change.
Thanks, Anne. I'm already feeling more prepared.
You're doing great, Mark. Let's keep building your confidence. Next session, we'll tackle questions 11 to 20 together.
100 Civics Questions, 1 Easy Answers. US Naturalization Test, 2008 Civics Test, Part 2, 1120. The next day in the same quiet library. The late afternoon sunlight filters through the tall windows. Mark is already at the table, flipping through his notes when Anne arrives with a warm smile and a new set of flashcards.
Good to see you again, Mark. How did you feel after yesterday's session?
Honestly, I reviewed our notes last night and even quizzed myself with some flashcards. It helped, but I'm still a bit unsure about remembering everything under pressure.
That's very normal. The important part is consistency. Today, we'll keep building your confidence. We'll go through questions 11 to 20, 10 more steps toward your goal.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Question 11. If the president can no longer serve, who becomes president? A. The vice president. B. The secretary of state. C. The speaker of the house.
I think the answer is A. The vice president.
Correct. According to the U.S. Constitution, specifically the 25th Amendment, the Vice President automatically assumes the duties of the President if the President dies, resigns, is removed, or is otherwise unable to serve. This ensures that there's always someone in power ready to lead without delay or confusion, keeping the government stable and effective. Question 12. Who does a U.S. Senator represent? A. Only people in their district. B. All people of the state. C. Only members of their political party.
I think the answer is B. All people of the state.
Exactly. Unlike a representative who serves a specific district, a senator represents the entire population of their state, rich or poor, voter or non-voter, regardless of political party. Every state has 2 senators, and they are expected to consider the needs of everyone in the state equally when making laws. Question 13. What is the supreme law of the land? A. The Declaration of Independence. B. The Bill of Rights. C. The Constitution.
I think the answer is C. The Constitution.
That's right. The U.S. Constitution is the foundation for all laws in the country. It outlines how the government works, divides power between the branches, and protects citizens' rights. All other laws, federal, state, or local, must follow it. If there's a conflict, the Constitution wins. That's why it's called the supreme law. Question 14. During the Cold War, what was the main concern of the United States? A. The spread of communism. B. Environmental pollution. C. Trade imbalance.
I think the answer is A. The spread of communism.
Correct. After World War II, the US and the Soviet Union entered a long period of tension known as the Cold War. The US was worried that communism, which gives total control of the economy and political power to the state, would spread around the world and threaten democracy. This fear influenced American foreign policy, military action, and even life at home, like bomb drills and the arms race. Question 15. Name 2 national U.S. holidays. A. New Year's Day and Christmas. B. Valentine's Day and Earth Day. C. Halloween and Thanksgiving.
I think the answer is A. New Year's Day and Christmas.
Exactly. These are official federal holidays, which means government offices, banks, and many businesses close. New Year's Day, January 1st, celebrates the beginning of a new calendar year, while Christmas, December 25th, is a Christian holiday that also has cultural significance in the U.S. Both are recognized nationwide, unlike some other holidays that are only celebrated locally or informally. Question 16. What group of people was taken to America and sold as slaves? A. Europeans. B. Native Americans. C. Africans.
I think the answer is C. Africans.
Yes. For over 200 years, Africans were forcibly taken from their homelands and brought to the Americas through the transatlantic slave trade. In the U.S., they were sold as property, mostly to work on plantations in the South. This brutal system caused generations of suffering and left deep scars in American society. Understanding this history is vital to understanding issues of race and civil rights in the U.S. today. Question 17. Name 1 state that borders Canada. A. Florida. B. Texas. C. New York.
I think the answer is C. New York.
Correct. New York shares a long border with Canada along the Great Lakes and the St. Lawrence River. In total, 13 U.S. states share borders with Canada, including Alaska, Washington, and Michigan. Just remembering one is enough, but knowing a few helps you visualize America's geography. Question 18. What is freedom of religion? A. You can practice any religion or not practice a religion. B. You must follow the majority religion. C. The government chooses your religion.
I think the answer is A. You can practice any religion or not practice a religion.
That's right. The First Amendment protects your right to believe in any religion or no religion at all without government interference. This means you can attend a church, mosque, temple, or choose not to go to any religious service at all. The government also cannot create or endorse an official religion, which helps ensure fairness and freedom. Question 19. What is the name of the President of the United States now? A. Barack Obama. B. Joe Biden. C. Donald Trump.
I think the answer is C. Donald Trump.
That's the correct answer for our practice set. This is one of the few questions on the test that changes depending on when you take it. Make sure to check a reliable source like the White House website, government news, or voter information close to your interview day so you give the current answer. Question 20. What is the name of the national anthem? A. America the Beautiful. B. God Bless America. C. The Star-Spangled Banner.
I think the answer is C. The Star-Spangled Banner.
Absolutely. This song was written by Francis Scott Key during the War of 1812 after he saw the American flag still flying above Fort McHenry after a British attack. Inspired by the flag's survival, he wrote a poem that was later set to music. It became the official national anthem in 1931 and is performed at patriotic events and sports games.
These explanations are helping me remember the bigger picture, not just memorize answers.
That's exactly the goal, Mark. Understanding the why helps you recall the answer more naturally. Let's review together. Are you feeling more confident explaining your choices? Try saying the answers aloud to yourself each day. Practice a mock interview with mixed-up questions. And don't forget to update any answers that depend on current officials before test day.
I will, thanks Anne. I'm already looking forward to the next set.
You're doing excellent, Mark. Keep practicing and see you for questions 21 to 30 soon.
100 Civics Questions, 1 Easy Answers. US Naturalization Test, 2008 Civics Test, Part 3, 2130. A few days later, in the same quiet corner of the public library. The study table is now a familiar spot for Mark and Anne. Mark arrives early, flipping through his flashcards. Anne walks in with a stack of new practice sheets and a proud smile.
Mark early again. I love it. That's dedication.
Thanks, Anne. I feel more motivated each time. I even explained the Emancipation Proclamation to my little brother yesterday, and I remembered everything.
That's fantastic. Teaching someone else means you're really absorbing the knowledge. Are you ready for the next set?
Yes. Let's go with questions 21 through 30.
Question 21. In what month do we vote for president? A. January. B. July. C. November.
I think the answer is C. November.
Correct. Federal elections are held in November, specifically on the first Tuesday after the first Monday. This tradition started in the 1800s when the U.S. was mostly agricultural. November worked best for farmers after harvest and before winter made travel difficult. Today, it remains the law and tradition. Question 22. Who signs bills to become laws? A. The President. B. The Vice President. C. The Chief Justice.
I think the answer is A. The President.
That's right. Once a bill is approved by both the House of Representatives and the Senate, it goes to the President. If the President signs the bill, it becomes law. If the president vetoes it, Congress can still pass it with a 2/3 majority in both chambers. This is part of the checks and balances in the U.S. government. Question 23. What ocean is on the east coast of the United States? A. Atlantic Ocean. B. Pacific Ocean. C. Indian Ocean.
I think the answer is A. Atlantic Ocean.
Correct. The Atlantic Ocean borders the eastern U.S. It played a major role in American history. European settlers crossed it to reach the Americas, and many major U.S. ports like New York, Boston, and Miami sit along this coastline today. Question 24. What is one responsibility that is only for United States citizens? A. Vote in a federal election. B. Pay taxes. C. Serve in the military.
I think the answer is A. Vote in a federal election.
That's correct. Only U.S. citizens have the right and responsibility to vote in federal elections like those for president, senators, and representatives, while permanent residents may live and work in the U.S. They cannot vote until they become citizens. Question 25. What are the two parts of the U.S. Congress? A. The Senate and House of Representatives. B. The Supreme Court and the Cabinet. C. The Pentagon and the White House.
I think the answer is A. The Senate and House of Representatives.
Exactly. Congress, which is the legislative branch of the federal government, is divided into two chambers. The Senate has 100 members, 2 from each state. The House of Representatives has 435 members, with seats distributed based on population. Together, they create and vote on federal laws. Question 26. The House of Representatives has how many voting members? A. 435. B. 100. C. 50.
I think the answer is A. 435.
Correct. There are 435 voting members in the House of Representatives. Each one represents a congressional district, and their number per state depends on the state's population. Representatives serve 2-year terms, so elections are frequent and keep them accountable to the people. Question 27. If both the president and the vice president can no longer serve, who becomes president? A. The Speaker of the House. B. The Chief Justice. C. The Secretary of State.
I think the answer is A. The Speaker of the House.
That's right. This is outlined in the Presidential Succession Act. If the president and vice president are unable to serve, the Speaker of the House is next in line. This ensures leadership continues even in emergencies or sudden changes. Question 28. What did the Emancipation Proclamation do? A. Ended the Civil War. B. Freed the slaves. C. Created the Constitution.
I think the answer is B. Freed the slaves.
Yes, In 1863, during the Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation. It declared that all enslaved people in Confederate states were free. While it didn't immediately free all slaves, it shifted the war's focus to a fight against slavery and led to the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery nationwide. Question 29. Who is the father of our country? A. George Washington. B. Thomas Jefferson. C. Abraham Lincoln.
I think the answer is A. George Washington.
Correct. George Washington earned this title because of his leadership during the Revolutionary War, his presidency of the Constitutional Convention, and for becoming the first U.S. president. He set many precedents for future leaders and helped unite the new country. Question 30. Before he was president, Eisenhower was a general. What war was he in? A. World War II. B. Korean War. C. Vietnam War.
I think the answer is A. World War II.
Exactly. Dwight D. Eisenhower was the Supreme Allied Commander during World War II. He led the D-Day invasion in Normandy, a turning point in the war. His leadership earned him national respect, and he later became president in 1953.
These felt more historical, but your explanations made the timeline clearer.
That's the power of understanding, not just memorizing, but seeing the connections between events, people, and principles.
I'm still nervous I might mix something up, like who signed the Emancipation Proclamation versus the Constitution.
That's a great insight. Here's how to stay sharp. Group facts by theme, founding documents, wars, rights, elections. Use memory hooks, like E for emancipation, E for ending slavery equals Lincoln. Speak the answers aloud daily. Your brain locks in what it hears repeatedly. Record yourself and review. It's awkward at first, but powerful.
I've started doing that. I even quiz myself in the mirror sometimes.
Excellent. That's how you train both memory and confidence. And don't forget, before your interview, double-check current officials' names, president, representative, etc. Practice like the real thing. Have someone ask random questions, not in order. During the interview, it's okay to pause, breathe, and correct yourself if needed. Officers value honesty and understanding more than speed or perfection.
You're right. This isn't just a test. It's my chance to show I care about becoming a citizen.
Exactly. And you're doing that beautifully, Mark. You've now completed 30 questions, nearly a third of the way there. Keep this pace, and you'll be more than ready.
I'm really proud of the progress so far. Thank you, Anne.
You're very welcome. Let's meet next time for questions 31 to 40. The journey continues, and you're getting stronger with every step.
100 Civics Questions, 1 Easy Answers. US Naturalization Test, 2008 Civics Test, Part 4, 31 to 40. Another calm afternoon at the public library. The study table now feels like a second home for Mark and Anne. The sun filters through the windows as they prepare for their 4th session. A small American flag sits at the corner of the table, placed there by Anne as inspiration.
Look at you, Mark. 4th session already. You're well into this journey.
Honestly, Anne, I didn't think I'd stay this motivated, but these sessions make the material feel meaningful, not just memorized, but real.
That's exactly the point. These next 10 questions will go deeper into history and civic understanding. Let's tackle questions 31 through 40. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Question 31. Who wrote the Declaration of Independence? A. George Washington. B. Thomas Jefferson. C. Benjamin Franklin.
I think the answer is B. Thomas Jefferson.
That's right. Thomas Jefferson was the primary author of the Declaration of Independence, which was adopted on July 4, 1776. He wrote it to declare the colonies' freedom from British rule and to outline the principles of liberty and equality. Jefferson's words continue to shape American values today. Question 32. Why does the flag have 13 stripes? A. To represent the first 13 presidents. B. Because of the 13 original colonies. C. To honor 13 states that joined first.
I think the answer is B. Because of the 13 original colonies.
Exactly. The 13 stripes, 7 red and 6 white, stand for the 13 original British colonies that declared independence in 1776. These colonies later became the first states. The flag is full of symbolism. The stars represent all current states, while the stripes honor the country's roots. Question 33. What are 2 ways that Americans can participate in their democracy? A. Watch the news, pay taxes. B. Obey laws, go to school. C. Vote, run for office.
I think the answer is C. Vote, run for office.
Correct. American democracy thrives when citizens are active participants. Voting in elections and running for public office are 2 of the most direct ways to shape policies and government leadership. Other ways include joining civic groups, contacting elected officials, or attending public meetings. Question 34. Name 1 branch or part of the government. A. Congress. B. The CIA. C. The military.
I think the answer is A. Congress.
Right. The U.S. government has 3 branches: legislative, Congress; executive, President and federal agencies; and judicial, Supreme Court and other courts. Congress, as part of the legislative branch, makes federal laws and includes both the Senate and House of Representatives. Question 35. Name the U.S. war between the North and the South. A. The Civil War. B. The Revolutionary War. C. The War of 1812.
I think the answer is A. The Civil War.
That's correct. The Civil War took place from 1861 to 1865. It was fought between the Northern States, Union, and Southern States, Confederacy, mainly over the issues of slavery and states' rights. It remains one of the most defining and tragic chapters in U.S. history. Question 36. When was the Constitution written? A. 1776. B. 1787. C. 1800.
I think the answer is B. 1787.
Exactly. After gaining independence, the U.S. needed a strong framework for its new government. Delegates met in Philadelphia in 1787 and wrote the Constitution, which was later ratified by the states. It became the supreme law of the land and still guides the nation today. Question 37. Why did the colonists fight the British? A. Because of high taxes. B. Because of religious freedom. C. To get more land.
I think the answer is A. Because of high taxes.
That's right. The phrase, no taxation without representation, sums it up. The British government imposed taxes on the colonies without allowing them representation in Parliament. This, along with other grievances like forced housing of soldiers and trade restrictions, led to revolution. Question 38. What is the capital of your state? A. Depends on where you live. B. Washington, D.C. C. The largest city in the state.
I think the answer is A. Depends on where you live.
Correct. This answer is personal. You must know the capital of the state where you live. For example, if you live in California, it's Sacramento. In Texas, it's Austin. Check an official map or your state website to be sure. Question 39. Who is the Chief Justice of the United States now? A. Clarence Thomas. B. Sonia Sotomayor. C. John Roberts.
I think the answer is C. John Roberts.
Yes, John Roberts has been the Chief Justice since 2005. He leads the U.S. Supreme Court, which is the highest court in the country. The court interprets laws and ensures they align with the Constitution. It plays a key role in shaping American life through its decisions. Question 40. What is the political party of the president now? A. Republican. B. Democrat. C. Independent.
I think the answer is A. Republican.
That's correct for our practice today, but remember, this answer can change based on who is president at the time of your interview. You must check recent official information to give the correct party. This reflects how active citizenship includes staying informed.
These questions felt like they connected so many things: history, government, even current events.
That's the beauty of this part of the test. It helps you not just know facts, but understand your role in the story of America.
Sometimes I still feel nervous about the interview. Like, what if I forget something small?
That's very normal. Let's review some tips to boost your confidence. Practice explaining answers in your own words. That helps your brain organize the information. Don't just memorize, visualize. Imagine the flag, a courtroom, a voting booth. Create flashcard categories like history, government, rights, current info. And always remember, the officer is not trying to fail you. They're checking that you understand the basics and care enough to prepare.
That helps a lot. I'll also make sure to double-check current leaders' names before the test.
Smart. Keep practicing out loud, stay consistent, and trust your preparation. You've now completed 40 questions, almost halfway. That's a huge accomplishment.
I really feel the progress now. Thank you for guiding me through all of this, Anne.
It's my honor, Mark. Let's meet next time for questions 41 through 50. You're doing great, and the finish line is getting closer.
100 Civics Questions, 1 Easy Answers. US Naturalization Test, 2008 Civics Test, Part 5, 4150. Late afternoon at the familiar library study spot. The table is now filled with not only flashcards and notes, but also a small copy of the U.S. Constitution that Anne brought today. Mark looks more confident than ever, holding a pen and notebook filled with personal summaries.
Mark, you're glowing with confidence today. I can see how far you've come since that first session.
Thanks, Anne. I reviewed every session this weekend. I even taught my cousin the 3 branches of government. He's only 10, but he got excited.
That's wonderful. Teaching others is the best sign that you're mastering the material. Let's keep building on that momentum with questions 41 to 50.
Ready when you are.
Question 41. What is one promise you make when you become a United States citizen? A. Be loyal to the United States. B. Obey your home country's leaders. C. Stay in your current job.
I think the answer is A. Be loyal to the United States.
Correct. During the naturalization oath ceremony, new citizens pledge to support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and to be loyal to the country. This promise reflects your full commitment to being a part of American civic life. Question 42. What are 2 rights of everyone living in the United States? A. Freedom to drive. Right to free housing. B. Freedom of speech. Freedom of religion. C. Right to a job. Freedom to travel.
I think the answer is B. Freedom of speech. Freedom of religion.
That's right. These rights are guaranteed not just to citizens, but to all people living in the U.S., including permanent residents and others. The First Amendment protects freedoms like speech, religion, press, and peaceful assembly, key elements of a free society. Question 43. What was one important thing that Abraham Lincoln did? A. Wrote the Constitution. B. Signed the Bill of Rights. C. Freed the slaves' Emancipation Proclamation.
I think the answer is C. Freed the slaves' Emancipation Proclamation.
Exactly. Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, declaring that enslaved people in Confederate states were free. This bold move shifted the purpose of the Civil War toward ending slavery and laid the groundwork for the 13th Amendment. Question 44. What do we call the first 10 amendments to the Constitution? A. The Articles of Confederation. B. The Bill of Rights. C. The Federalist Papers.
I think the answer is B. The Bill of Rights.
Correct. The Bill of Rights includes the first 10 amendments and was added to protect individual freedoms like speech, religion, and the right to a fair trial. These rights limit government power and guarantee certain protections to all citizens. Question 45. We elect a president for how many years? A. 2. B. 4. C. 6.
I think the answer is B. 4.
That's right. A U.S. president serves a 4-year term and can be re-elected for one more term. Presidential elections happen every 4 years in November, and inauguration occurs in January of the following year. Question 46. What ocean is on the west coast of the United States? A. Atlantic Ocean. B. Arctic Ocean. C. Pacific Ocean.
I think the answer is C. Pacific Ocean.
Exactly. The Pacific Ocean borders states like California, Oregon, and Washington. It's the largest ocean in the world and plays a vital role in U.S. trade, military, and climate. Many major U.S. ports, like Los Angeles and Seattle, are on the Pacific coast. Question 47. What are the two major political parties in the United States? A. Democratic and Republican. B. Green and Libertarian. C. Independent and Constitution.
I think the answer is A. Democratic and Republican.
Correct. While there are other smaller parties, the two dominant ones are the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. Understanding their platforms and participating in elections is a key part of civic life in the U.S. Question 48. When do we celebrate Independence Day? A. July 4th. B. September 17th. C. June 14th.
I think the answer is A. July 4th.
That's right. On July 4th, 1776, the Declaration of Independence was adopted, marking the birth of the United States as a free and independent nation. Americans celebrate with fireworks, parades, and family gatherings. Question 49. The idea of self-government is in the first 3 words of the Constitution. What are these words? A. We the people. B. United we stand. C. One nation under God.
I think the answer is A. We the people.
Exactly. We the people signals that government power comes from the people, not a king or elite class. These words represent democracy and the American belief in equal participation and representation. Question 50. What is one thing Benjamin Franklin is famous for? A. President of the United States. B. Author of the Declaration of Independence. C. U.S. diplomat.
I think the answer is C. U.S. diplomat.
Correct. Benjamin Franklin was never president, but he was one of the most influential founding fathers. He was a skilled diplomat, helping secure French support during the Revolutionary War. He was also an inventor, publisher, and advocate for unity and education.
That round really hit some powerful themes. freedom, equality, and what it means to be a citizen.
Yes, these questions remind us that becoming a citizen is more than just a process. It's a promise to uphold those values. Let's reflect for a moment on your progress. You've now completed half of the 100 questions. That's a major milestone. You're recalling facts with accuracy and clarity, and more importantly, understanding their meaning. You've started connecting your answers to real-life concepts and national identity.
I still get nervous, but every time I understand the why behind an answer, I feel more grounded.
That's exactly how it should feel. Here are some tips as you move into the second half. Review current events, especially leaders' names and political changes. Practice mock interviews with questions in random order. Keep explaining answers aloud like you're teaching someone. And remember, if you forget an answer during the real interview, stay calm. You can ask the officer to repeat it or take a moment to think.
I'm going to try recording myself again, this time with explanations, not just answers.
Perfect strategy. It'll strengthen your memory and build your speaking fluency. You're truly becoming more than just a test taker. You're stepping into the role of an informed citizen.
Thank you, Anne. This journey has already changed how I see things.
That's what this process is all about. I'm proud of your dedication, Mark. Let's keep that energy going for questions 51 to 60 next time.
100 Civics Questions, 1 Easy Answers. US Naturalization Test, 2008 Civics Test, Part 6, 5160. A breezy Saturday morning at the library. The study area is quiet and the atmosphere is relaxed but focused. Mark sets up a small U.S. flag pin on his notebook as Anne walks in with 2 coffees and a proud smile.
Coffee for the scholar. You've reached the 6th session, more than halfway now.
Thanks, Anne. It's starting to feel like a routine I look forward to. My memory's sharper, and I've started organizing questions by topic, like wars, government, geography.
That's an excellent strategy. Today's questions will blend those categories, especially focusing on leadership roles and key U.S. history events. Ready for questions 51 through 60?
Let's get into it.
Question 51. What are 2 cabinet-level positions? A. Secretary of Education, Attorney General. B. Speaker of the House, Majority Leader. C. Attorney General, Vice President.
I think the answer is C. Attorney General, Vice President.
Correct. The cabinet includes leaders of executive departments who advise the president. The Attorney General leads the Department of Justice, and the vice president is also considered part of the cabinet. Other members include secretaries of state, defense, and more. Question 52. Name 1 U.S. territory. A. Hawaii. B. Guam. C. Rhode Island.
I think the answer is B. Guam.
That's right. The U.S. has 5 major territories: Puerto Rico, Guam, U.S. Virgin Islands, American Samoa, and the Northern Mariana Islands. People born in these territories are U.S. citizens or nationals, though they may have different voting rights than residents of the 50 states. Question 53. What territory did the United States buy from France in 1803? A. Alaska. B. Louisiana. C. Florida.
I think the answer is B. Louisiana.
Exactly. The Louisiana Purchase doubled the size of the United States. President Thomas Jefferson bought it from France for about $15 million. It included land that is now part of many central U.S. states, from the Mississippi River to the Rocky Mountains. Question 54. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1800s. A. World War I. B. The Korean War. C. The Civil War.
I think the answer is C. The Civil War.
That's correct. The Civil War, 1861 to 1865, was a major conflict between the North and the South over slavery and states' rights. It led to the end of slavery and redefined the nation's commitment to equality and unity. Question 55. We elect a U.S. representative for how many years? A. 4. B. 2. C. 6.
I think the answer is B. 2.
Right. Members of the House of Representatives serve 2-year terms. This short term is designed to keep them closely accountable to their districts. Elections are held every even-numbered year. Question 56. How many justices are on the Supreme Court? A. 7. B. 9. C. 11.
I think the answer is B. 9.
Correct. The Supreme Court has 9 justices, 1 Chief Justice, and 8 Associate Justices. This number is set by Congress and has remained the same since 1869. These justices serve lifetime appointments and interpret the Constitution through major court cases. Question 57. Who vetoes bills? A. The Speaker of the House. B. The President. C. The Chief Justice.
I think the answer is B. The President.
That's right. After Congress passes a bill, it goes to the President. If the President disagrees with it, they can veto or reject it. Congress can override the veto with a 2/3 vote in both chambers, but that's rare. Question 58. Who was president during World War I? A. Franklin D. Roosevelt. B. Woodrow Wilson. C. Harry Truman.
I think the answer is B. Woodrow Wilson.
Exactly. Wilson was president from 1913 to 1921. He led the country through World War I and later proposed the League of Nations, a precursor to the United Nations. His leadership helped shape America's role in world affairs. Question 59. When must all men register for the Selective Service? A. At age 16. B. At age 18. C. At age 21.
I think the answer is B. At age 18.
Correct. All men living in the U.S. between ages 18 and 25 must register for selective service within 30 days of their 18th birthday. This system ensures that the country could quickly raise an army if needed, although the draft hasn't been used since 1973. Question 60. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1900s. A. Civil War. B. Revolutionary War. C. World War II.
I think the answer is C. World War II.
Absolutely. The U.S. entered World War II in 1941 after the attack on Pearl Harbor. It was a global conflict that involved fighting in Europe, Africa, and the Pacific. The war ended in 1945, and the U.S. emerged as a global superpower.
That was a rich mix. Military history, government roles, even geography. I'm starting to think like a citizen, not just a test taker.
You're absolutely right. Let's take a moment to reflect. You've now answered 60 out of 100 questions. That's a full 3/5 of the way there. You're becoming faster and more confident. You've moved from just memorizing to truly understanding your responsibilities and your country's story.
I'm learning to explain answers better too. I even caught myself using one in a casual conversation.
That's a big sign of progress. To keep the momentum, keep grouping questions by topic to reinforce patterns. Keep speaking the answers aloud, preferably in front of someone or recorded. And most importantly, remind yourself why you're doing this. You're not just preparing for a test. You're preparing for a lifelong role in this country.
You're right, Anne. This has become more personal for me. I want to be part of the democratic process and truly understand it.
And you're well on your way. Let's meet again for questions 61 through 70. With every session, you're getting closer to that oath ceremony and becoming a full participant in the American story.
100 Civics Questions, 1 Easy Answers. US Naturalization Test, 2008 Civics Test, Part 7, 61 to 70. A quiet weekday evening. The library lights cast a warm glow on the now familiar study table. Mark has brought a small American flag lapel pin, and Anne arrives carrying 2 folders labeled Checks and Balances and Constitution. The mood is focused and determined.
Mark, welcome back. Every time we meet, I see more confidence in you.
Thanks, Anne. I've been thinking a lot lately about what it means to balance power in a government. Last session's cabinet roles really helped me appreciate the structure.
That's perfect, because today's questions will take you deeper into how the government keeps that balance and how rights and responsibilities are divided. Ready for questions 61 through 70?
Let's go.
Question 61. What stops one branch of government from becoming too powerful? A. The military. B. The president's approval. C. Checks and balances.
I think the answer is C. Checks and balances.
Correct. The U.S. Constitution created three branches of government: legislative, executive, and judicial. Checks and balances ensure that no one branch becomes dominant. For example, Congress makes laws, but the president can veto them, and the courts can declare them unconstitutional. Question 62. Who is the governor of your state now? A. Depends on where you live. B. The vice president. C. The chief justice.
I think the answer is A. Depends on where you live.
Right. Every state has its own governor. You'll need to know the name of your state's governor at the time of your interview. It's a good idea to double-check this before your appointment, especially if elections have happened recently. Question 63. What happened at the Constitutional Convention? A. The Emancipation Proclamation was signed. B. The Declaration of Independence was written. C. The Constitution was written.
I think the answer is C. The Constitution was written.
That's right. The Constitutional Convention took place in 1787 in Philadelphia. Delegates from the original states met to create a stronger federal government, replacing the Articles of Confederation. The result was the U.S. Constitution, still the supreme law today. Question 64. Who is in charge of the executive branch? A. The Chief Justice. B. The Vice President. C. The President.
I think the answer is C. The President.
Correct. The executive branch enforces laws, and it's headed by the president. This branch also includes the vice president, cabinet members, and various federal agencies like the FBI and EPA. Question 65. We elect a U.S. Senator for how many years? A. 2. B. 4. C. 6.
I think the answer is C. 6.
Yes, each U.S. Senator serves a 6-year term, and there are no term limits. The longer term allows them to focus on long-term national policies and oversight without the pressure of frequent re-election. Question 66. How many U.S. Senators are there? A. 100. B. 435. C. 50.
I think the answer is A. 100.
Correct. Each of the 50 states elects 2 senators regardless of population. This gives all states equal representation in the Senate, balancing the House of Representatives, where representation is based on population. Question 67. Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the federal government. What is one power of the federal government? A. To issue driver's licenses. B. To set school policies. C. To print money.
I think the answer is C. To print money.
That's exactly right. Only the federal government has the power to print and coin money. Other powers include declaring war, making treaties, and maintaining an army. States handle areas like education and licensing. Question 68. Name one right only for United States citizens. A. Attend school. B. Vote in a federal election. C. Freedom of speech.
I think the answer is B. Vote in a federal election.
Yes, while many rights like free speech apply to everyone living in the U.S., voting in federal elections is reserved only for citizens. It's both a right and a responsibility that reflects full participation in democracy. Question 69. Who did the United States fight in World War II? A. Germany, Italy, and Japan. B. China, Russia, and Mexico. C. France, Canada, and Spain.
I think the answer is A. Germany, Italy, and Japan.
Correct. These three nations formed the Axis powers in World War II. The U.S. joined the Allied side after the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941 and played a crucial role in defeating the Axis in both Europe and the Pacific. Question 70. What are two rights in the Declaration of Independence? A. Freedom of the press, education. B. Voting, free housing. C. Life, liberty.
I think the answer is C. Life, liberty.
Exactly. The Declaration of Independence declares that all people are born with certain unalienable rights, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These ideals form the philosophical foundation of American democracy.
These questions really brought everything together. Rights, powers, responsibilities. It feels like a roadmap of how the U.S. works.
That's a great way to describe it. Let's recap your progress. You've now completed 70 questions out of 100, just 30 more to go. You're showing greater understanding of not just facts, but also how they connect. You're also practicing how to explain answers clearly, essential for the interview.
I feel more prepared each time. I'm also noticing how all of these elements, history, government, rights, they all work together.
That's the heart of American civics. Here are your tips going forward. Start mixing up questions randomly for mock interviews. Write down tricky topics and review them separately. Practice your tone and clarity out loud. This builds confidence. Stay updated on current leaders in your area.
I'll start doing mock interviews with my cousin. He likes pretending to be the officer.
That's perfect practice. You're becoming someone who not only knows the answers, but understands what they stand for. Let's keep going strong. We'll meet next time for questions 71 through 80.
100 Civics Questions, 1 Easy Answers. US Naturalization Test, 2008 Civics Test, Part 8, 7180. A quiet corner of the library as dusk approaches. The air is calm, with a few other readers scattered around. Mark arrives carrying a printed copy of the U.S. Constitution and a list of famous civil rights leaders. Anne is already waiting with today's question set and a smile.
Good to see you, Mark. You've got a copy of the Constitution now?
Yes, I figured it's time I read it directly. It's surprisingly powerful, even after all this time.
That's a great step. Today's questions connect to that deeply, covering loyalty, law, and some of the nation's most important voices. Let's take on questions 71 to 80.
I'm ready.
Question 71. What do we show loyalty to when we say the Pledge of Allegiance? A. The President. B. The United States. C. The Founding Fathers.
I think the answer is B. The United States.
Correct. The Pledge of Allegiance is a promise of loyalty to the United States and its flag. It's often recited in schools and public events to affirm unity and shared values as citizens. Question 72. What is the rule of law? A. Only citizens follow the law. B. Everyone must follow the law. C. The President decides the law.
I think the answer is B. Everyone must follow the law.
Right. The rule of law means no one is above the law, not even leaders or government officials. It ensures justice and fairness, holding everyone to the same legal standards. It's one of the cornerstones of American democracy. Question 73. When was the Declaration of Independence adopted? A. July 4th, 1776. B. September 17th, 1787. C. October 12th, 1492.
I think the answer is A. July 4th, 1776.
Exactly. That's the day the Continental Congress officially adopted the Declaration of Independence, declaring the colonies' freedom from British rule. It's the reason we celebrate Independence Day every July 4th. Question 74. What is the name of the Speaker of the House of Representatives now? A. Chuck Schumer. B. Mike Johnson. C. Kevin McCarthy.
I think the answer is B. Mike Johnson.
Correct. As of now, the Speaker is Mike Johnson. He leads the House of Representatives, setting legislative priorities and often representing the majority party. Be sure to verify the current Speaker before your interview, since it can change. Question 75. The Federalist Papers supported the passage of the U.S. Constitution. Name one of the writers. A. Thomas Paine. B. John Jay. C. Benjamin Franklin.
I think the answer is B. John Jay.
Yes. The Federalist Papers were a series of essays arguing for the ratification of the Constitution. John Jay, along with Alexander Hamilton and James Madison, wrote them to explain how the Constitution would strengthen the government and protect freedoms. Question 76. Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the states. What is one power of the states? A. Print money. B. Declare war. C. Give a driver's license.
I think the answer is C. Give a driver's license.
That's correct. States have power over certain responsibilities, like issuing licenses, setting education standards, and running local elections. The Constitution divides powers to keep government effective and balanced. Question 77. Name one of the two longest rivers in the United States. A. Hudson River. B. Mississippi River. C. Columbia River.
I think the answer is B. Mississippi River.
Right. The Mississippi River is one of the longest in the country, flowing over 2,300 miles from Minnesota to the Gulf of Mexico. It's been a vital route for trade, culture, and transportation throughout American history. Question 78. What does the judicial branch do? A. Makes treaties. B. Reviews laws. C. Enforces laws.
I think the answer is B. Reviews laws.
Exactly. The judicial branch, including the Supreme Court, interprets laws and determines whether they are constitutional. This ensures that laws passed by Congress and actions taken by the President follow the rules set in the Constitution. Question 79. What did Martin Luther King Jr. do? A. Sign the Constitution. B. Fought for civil rights. C. Was president during World War II.
I think the answer is B. Fought for civil rights.
Yes, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. led the peaceful civil rights movement in the 1950s and 60s. He advocated for racial equality and justice through nonviolent protest and famously delivered the "I Have a Dream" speech during the 1963 March on Washington. Question 80. Who is one of your state's U.S. senators now? A. Depends on where you live. B. The Chief Justice. C. The Vice President.
I think the answer is A. Depends on where you live.
Correct. Each state has 2 U.S. senators. You must know at least one of your current senators by name for the interview. This answer changes based on where you live and elections, so check the most current source before your appointment.
These questions really emphasized what the U.S. stands for: unity, law, and the people who've shaped that vision. I especially felt the connection when answering about Martin Luther King Jr.
That's exactly what I hoped you'd take away. Each question is more than a fact. It's a reflection of a larger idea. Let's take a step back and see how far you've come. You've now answered 80 out of 100 questions. You're officially in the final stretch. You've shown mastery over key civic principles: democracy, balance of power, civil rights. More importantly, your ability to explain answers clearly and confidently is shining through.
I'm feeling it too. I used to feel nervous with questions about law or history, but now I actually enjoy connecting the answers to the country's values.
And that's how you know you're truly ready, not just for the interview, but for citizenship itself. Keep building on that mindset. Here's what I want you to focus on as we approach the final 2 sessions. Mix your review materials. Use shuffled flashcards, mix topics randomly, and do timed quizzes. Practice responses out loud with full sentences. Confidence grows when you hear yourself speak clearly. Personalize the facts. Link answers to your own experiences, like learning about MLK and feeling inspired. Double-check local information. You'll need to know your state's governor and U.S. senators accurately.
I've also started teaching some of these to my little cousin. He asks so many questions. It's fun, but challenging.
That's a fantastic way to reinforce your learning. If you can explain it to someone else, you know you truly understand it. And on the big day, just remember, stay calm. The officer wants you to pass. If needed, ask for a question to be repeated. That's perfectly okay. And take pride. You've earned this.
Thank you, Anne. You've helped me turn fear into understanding and understanding into pride.
It's been a joy to watch your growth, Mark. Next time, we'll tackle questions 81 to 90, and then you'll be just 10 questions away from the finish line.
100 Civics Questions, 1 Easy Answers. US Naturalization Test, 2008 Civics Test, Part 9, 8190. A sunny afternoon at the library. Mark is seated at the usual table with a small stack of patriotic biographies, while Anne arrives with a notebook and a quiet smile.
Mark, just 10 questions left. This is a milestone.
I know. I've been reviewing so much, I can almost recite the Constitution in my sleep.
That's a good sign. Today's questions focus on historical figures, founding principles, and key national facts. Let's walk through questions 81 to 90, slowly and deeply.
I'm ready.
Question 81. How many amendments does the Constitution have? A. 27. B. 33. C. 10.
I think the answer is A. 27.
That's correct. The U.S. Constitution was ratified in 1788 and originally had 7 articles. Since then, it's been amended 27 times. These amendments are how we've added rights, like abolishing slavery, 13th, giving women the right to vote, 19th, and limiting presidential terms, 22nd. It's how the Constitution evolves while preserving its original structure. Question 82. Name one American Indian tribe in the United States. A. Crow. B. Inca. C. Maori.
I think the answer is A. Crow.
Exactly. The Crow are a Native American tribe primarily located in Montana. They are one of over 500 federally recognized tribes in the U.S. Native tribes. Each have their own government, culture, and language, and they play an essential part in American history and identity. Question 83. What did Susan B. Anthony do? A. Wrote the Constitution. B. Fought for women's rights. C. Became a Supreme Court justice.
I think the answer is B. Fought for women's rights.
Absolutely. Susan B. Anthony was a pioneer of the women's suffrage movement in the 19th century. She gave speeches, organized petitions, and was even arrested for voting illegally. Though she didn't live to see the 19th Amendment passed in 1920, her efforts made it possible. Question 84. There were 13 original states, name 3. A. New York, New Jersey, New Hampshire. B. Texas, Florida, Ohio. C. Illinois, Kentucky, Vermont.
I think the answer is A. New York, New Jersey, New Hampshire.
Correct. The 13 original states were the first British colonies to declare independence in 1776. These states form the foundation of the country and are honored in the 13 red and white stripes on the U.S. flag. Question 85. What is one reason colonists came to America? A. To avoid jury duty. B. Freedom. C. To join the British Army.
I think the answer is B. Freedom.
Yes, many colonists were escaping religious persecution or looking for political and economic freedom. That desire shaped the nation's foundation. Freedom of religion, speech, and self-governance are all rooted in this migration. Question 86. Who was the first president? A. Thomas Jefferson. B. Abraham Lincoln. C. George Washington.
I think the answer is C. George Washington.
That's right. George Washington was unanimously elected in 1789. He chose to step down after 2 terms, which set a precedent for future presidents. He is often called the father of our country for leading both the military and the early government. Question 87. What is the highest court in the United States? A. The Supreme Court. B. The Federal Court of Appeals. C. The District Court.
I think the answer is A. The Supreme Court.
Correct. The Supreme Court is the final authority on legal and constitutional matters. It decides major issues such as civil rights, presidential powers, and voting laws. Its decisions affect the entire country, and justices serve for life. Question 88. Name one problem that led to the Civil War. A. Slavery. B. Immigration. C. Tax refunds.
I think the answer is A. Slavery.
Absolutely. Slavery was the most divisive issue between the northern and southern states. Southern states relied on slavery for agriculture, while northern states were pushing toward abolition. The disagreement led to the Civil War in 1861, which eventually ended slavery but left lasting scars. Question 89. What is the name of the Vice President of the United States now? A. J.D. Vance. B. Kamala Harris. C. Mike Pence.
I think the answer is A. J.D. Vance.
That's right. J.D. Vance currently serves as vice president. Always check current government officials before your interview. Leadership can change with elections or appointments. Question 90. What is the capital of the United States? A. New York City. B. Philadelphia. C. Washington, D.C.
I think the answer is C. Washington, D.C.
Correct. Washington, D.C. became the permanent capital in 1800. It houses all 3 branches of the federal government and major monuments like the White House and Capitol. It's not part of any state, reinforcing its federal status.
Wow. These questions really tie together everything we've covered: history, law, values, and leadership.
Exactly. Let's take a moment to reflect. You've now completed 90 out of 100 questions. Just one final round left. You've shown not just knowledge, but understanding and connection to the content. You've explained every answer with thought and confidence.
I've gone from memorizing to appreciating how each fact fits into a bigger picture of American identity.
That's the greatest transformation you could make. You're not just passing a test, you're stepping into a legacy, into the story of a nation. And your preparation shows that you're ready to take your place in it.
It's funny. When I started, I only saw this as a challenge to overcome. Now I feel honored. Learning about people like Susan B. Anthony and Martin Luther King Jr., or how the Constitution continues to evolve, it gives me a deep respect for the rights I'll have.
That respect will carry you far as a citizen. And remember, citizenship is ongoing. Voting, speaking out, helping your community, these are lifelong responsibilities. You already act like a citizen. The care, effort, and understanding you've shown, that's exactly what America needs more of. And this journey isn't just yours. It inspires others around you, family, friends, even strangers who see your example.
I'm going to tell my mom tonight that I finally feel ready, not just to pass, but to belong.
She'll be proud, and so am I. Next session, we'll finish strong with the final 10 questions, and after that, we'll prepare for the interview conversation and how to carry yourself with confidence.
Thank you, Anne. Truly, you've been more than a tutor. You've helped me find meaning in all of this.
That's what this process is really about. I'll see you at the next and final review session. Let's cross that finish line together.
100 Civics Questions, 1 Easy Answers. US Naturalization Test, 2008 Civics Test, Part 10, 91-100. A calm Saturday morning. Sunlight filters through the windows of the library. Mark is already seated at the usual table with a cup of tea and a small American flag pin on his jacket. Anne walks in with a stack of final flashcards and a warm smile.
Mark, this is it, the final 10 questions. You've worked hard for this moment.
I can't believe we're here. This journey has been more meaningful than I ever expected.
Let's wrap it up strong. Today's questions reflect themes of power, identity, and historical impact. Ready?
Let's do it.
Question 91. Who is the Commander-in-Chief of the military? A. The Secretary of Defense. B. The President. C. The Speaker of the House.
I think the answer is B. The President.
Correct. The Constitution designates the President as the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. This means the President has the final authority over military decisions, although Congress declares war and controls funding. This role ensures civilian oversight over the military, a cornerstone of American democracy. Question 92. Name one state that borders Mexico. A. Nevada. B. Florida. C. California.
I think the answer is C. California.
Yes, California is one of 4 U.S. states that border Mexico, along with Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. This border shapes immigration, trade, and cultural exchange between the two countries, especially in regions like San Diego and Tijuana. Question 93. How old do citizens have to be to vote for president? A. 16, B. 18 and older, C. 21.
I think the answer is B. 18 and older.
Correct. The 26th Amendment, passed in 1971, lowered the voting age from 21 to 18. This was largely in response to the Vietnam War, during which many young men were being drafted before they had the right to vote. Question 94. Where is the Statue of Liberty? A. New York Harbor, B. Washington, D.C., C. Boston.
I think the answer is A. New York Harbor.
Right. The Statue of Liberty stands on Liberty Island in New York Harbor. It was a gift from France in 1886 and became a symbol of welcome for immigrants arriving at Ellis Island. The statue's torch and tablet represent enlightenment and the rule of law. Question 95. What is the economic system in the United States? A. Socialist economy, B. Market economy, C. Command economy.
I think the answer is B. Market economy.
Correct. The U.S. has a market economy, meaning businesses are privately owned and prices are determined by supply and demand. This system encourages competition, entrepreneurship, and consumer choice, although the government may regulate to prevent abuse or protect public interest. Question 96. Why does the flag have 50 stars? A. For 50 presidents. B. Because of 50 military bases. C. Because there are 50 states.
I think the answer is C. Because there are 50 states.
Exactly. Each star represents a U.S. state. As new states were admitted to the Union, stars were added to the flag. The current design, with 50 stars, has been in place since Hawaii joined in 1959. Question 97. Why do some states have more representatives than other states? A. Because they have more people. B. Because they are older states. C. Because they are closer to Washington, D.C.
I think the answer is A. Because they have more people.
That's right. Representation in the House of Representatives is based on population. States with larger populations, like California or Florida, have more representatives to reflect their higher number of residents. This ensures proportional representation in Congress. Question 98. What is an amendment? A. A court order. B. A change to the Constitution. C. A federal tax.
I think the answer is B. A change to the Constitution.
Yes. Amendments are official changes or additions to the U.S. Constitution. They allow the document to evolve with society. There are 27 amendments addressing everything from personal freedoms to voting rights. Question 99. What movement tried to end racial discrimination? A. The Revolutionary War. B. The Civil Rights Movement. C. The War of 1812.
I think the answer is B. The Civil Rights Movement.
Absolutely. The Civil Rights Movement in the 1950s and 60s aimed to end racial segregation and discrimination, especially in the South. It led to major legislation like the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965, changing the legal landscape of America. Question 100. Who was president during the Great Depression and World War II? A. Woodrow Wilson. B. Franklin D. Roosevelt. C. Dwight D. Eisenhower.
I think the answer is B. Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Correct. FDR was elected 4 times and led the U.S. through 2 of its greatest crises. His New Deal programs aimed to recover the economy during the Depression, while his wartime leadership during World War II helped shape the modern world order.
That's it. That was the final question.
You've just completed all 100 questions. Congratulations, Mark.
Now that I know all the answers, I still worry about how I'll speak during the interview. What if I freeze?
That's a common concern, but you can absolutely improve your speaking skills with some focused practice. Read every answer out loud daily. This helps your brain and mouth coordinate. Record yourself and listen. You'll notice pronunciation or hesitation patterns you can work on. Use full sentences when you can. It builds fluency and prepares you for possible follow-up questions. Practice with someone. Simulate the interview. Ask and answer naturally. Practice small talk in English. Officers may begin with casual questions. Getting used to speaking freely builds confidence. Speak slowly and clearly. Clarity matters more than speed. Think, then speak.
So it's not about perfect grammar, but confidence and clarity.
Exactly. The officer is checking your understanding and ability to communicate, not your accent or how advanced your vocabulary is.
I'll start doing a mock interview every morning. I might even ask my little brother to be the officer.
That's a perfect idea. The more you practice out loud, the more natural it'll feel during the interview. You're not just ready, you're prepared.
I really feel proud of what I've learned. Thank you for being part of this journey.
It's been an honor, Mark. Go forward with pride and know you've earned every part of this new chapter.